good evening, and welcome to Modern Spiritualists Live. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, with me tonight is my co-host of the mostest legendary psychic medium, Hazel. How are you, darling?
I'm okay.
Good. It's been a tailspin of a week, just in general, for everybody.
I think it's been a month of it.
Yeah.
I
Very
think
much.
this month should be named the Blue Month because everybody is feeling flat after Christmas.
Well, they're feeling flat. They're being scared by the credit card bills. They're stressed out in general. And if you got a brain on you, we're already heading into that season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that season is what the psychics call "Will He Call Me" season.
Yeah.
It's the final stage of the Black Rose. Um, so there's that, and it's the Valentine's Day. Have you found your true one? Is he a twin flame? And it's like, oh my god, this is not how this works. Can we just back the freaking bus up or roll over the 1990s books that you sold at the dang cash register?
I had one client, and I shouldn't have said, and I couldn't help. Shall I take her out for Valentine's Day? I said, take her out the day before. And he said, but that's not Valentine's Day. I said, no, but it's half the price.
No, it's true. I was looking because, of course, I've got to make multiple Valentine's Day plans because we really don't do anything on the 14th of February. We do the 28th of February, and this year the 29th. And it was this. I was looking at this restaurant, and literally, because you have to make reservations, it's that type of restaurant. And like the standard reservation is like $79 on a Sunday. Okay. Valentine's Day is $125.
I don't know if you think the same, and hi Brenda, you might think the same. Valentine's Day is just a commercialized way of getting people to spend money.
Well, I think I got to check myself. Let me check before I state something.
Because when you love your partner, you tell them every time they leave the bloody house.
You better.
You don't need that one special day to show your undying love.
Right. During the Middle Ages, it was common for beloved in France and England on February 14th was the beginning of the birds' mating season. Okay, that's not what I was thinking of. What I was thinking of was it was about a saint, and it wasn't the best saint either. Yeah, it's about a Christian martyr in 270 ECE by the Empire. According to the legend, the priest signed a letter from your Valentine's to his jailer's daughter, whom he had befriended and some account healed from blindness. The other accounts is Saint Valentine's of Thessaly, a bishop whom the holiday was named after, though it possibly the two saints actually is one person. That's
bit screwed up.
Yeah, very screwed up.
See, Brenda knows. It's Saint Valentine.
Right. Yeah. It depends, however, which Saint Valentine, because apparently there's 3 of them.
Oh.
But then I was thinking of like the Valentine's Day Massacre from the 30s, going, what a lovely romantic idea.
I think it's just a way of getting people to spend more money, and especially this year's money people haven't got.
Well, here's the thing. It's important. Yes, it's important. Yes, it's wonderful. Yes, however, it needs to be worked out a little bit more. Okay. Like when you're children, you send cards to everybody, yada, yada, yada. When you grow up, you're expected to do something for your love. Here's the problem, though. People get all caught up with, well, I don't have a love. Yes, you do. Yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be doing something special for Parker this year because he's my little Valentine. He's the only man in my life, apart from my kids, but they don't matter now.
They're all grown up. Throw a box of chocolate at both of them and go, here you go. Are you, and I'm, and it gets stressful because you bring up a good point, though. Children, trying to get romantic around children ain't working.
No.
Never will ever work.
No. And you've got more chance of getting a babysitter either before or after Valentine's Day.
Normally after Valentine's Day, it's really easy to get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Because then everyone's trying to save up for spring break.
And then what money you save from paying double for a meal, you can book a hotel room as well, and a meal for the same price you would have paid for a meal on Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Look at us, money saving experts.
Well, yes. We are psychic financial consultants. We are not financial advisors.
No.
We don't tell you where to put your stock. We tell you where to put your coupons. Anyhow,
yes.
For me, however, in my point of view, it is better for a mate to sit down and plan something out.
Yeah.
Like, have a plan for me.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do it.
I like to, the same as yourself, you plan a month in advance of what you do in that month. If somebody wants to take me out for a meal, they got to let me know at least 4 weeks before.
Yeah.
They can't drop it on me on the day, because this is going to sound awful. One of our busiest days are Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
The same as Christmas Day and around the festive period.
Exactly. That's why I tell people, you come to my house Valentine's. Now, normally people come to visit. Dinner's made. Coffee's in the pot. The teapot, you flip a button on. There's 40 different teas.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is blocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
me and Joe started dating, he thought I was messing around, just. And I'm like, no. We can go out the 13th. We can go out the 15th. We can go out the 18th. We can go out the 28th. The 14th
is off.
And he saw the first he was really sweet. He spent the first Valentine's Day with me. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Go get me a cup of coffee. Find me some finger food.
Buckle up, Buttercup. You're in for a rough ride.
Right. Here's a phone. This is back when everything was done by hand.
Yeah.
Phone. Here, figure out an appointment time.
Yeah.
And it's like massage therapists. They're busy too. Anybody in the service industry is busy, which is most of the working class. Like Valentine's Day ain't treated like anything else. And I think this year's Valentine's Day is a real pain in the elbow.
What day is it on this year?
It is on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you normally have a Wednesday off as well.
I normally have a Wednesday off. So, but I'm going to be working it because it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we get emails to say, we're short of readers. Can you please come online?
That's when we get phone calls. Get your ass on the phone.
It's true, though.
It's true. It's true. But so let's back this up. Because today we're talking relationship matrix, and this is something that has really gotten people screwed up.
Yeah.
And we really shouldn't be sharing this, but you know what? We'd rather share it with you so you ain't calling us going, why aren't they talking to me? Well, I don't know. Did you skip steps 3 and 4 and 5? You did, didn't you? Or we just moved in and all we're doing is fighting. Yeah, you should have had a few more overnights to figure out that they snore.
And that's the hard thing. We've said this so many times. There's no such thing as dating now.
But there's still programming for it.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways to form that relationship. Now, when you get that first hello.
Yeah.
Okay. And you start with my name and your sign and, oh, you look so pretty and blah, blah, blah. That's great. But you got to notice who the leader of the dance is.
Yeah.
Because in the old days, it was a man leading the dance. Now, today, either one can be leading the dance.
Yeah. And dynamics have changed completely now with relationships in general.
Right.
Because if you think about now to years ago, and I know I'm jumping ahead here.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was always the man that went out to work.
Mm-hmm.
But more often or not now, the lady is in a higher paying job role. So the husband stays over to look after the children.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
So, its dynamics change all the time.
Right. So we're in that honeymoon phase. And this can be anywhere from a year to 2 years. This is the easy phase.
Yeah.
But
if you think about it, just something to think about, there are so many divorces within the first 6 months of a marriage.
Yeah. You know why? They come out of the honeymoon phase. Literally, because they met like a year ago.
Yeah.
They dated.
Yeah.
Then they got engaged. Then they hurry up and had a wedding. So we're at that year and a half mark.
I always see it as this is just my way of thinking. You got to get to know the person to build boundaries and trust before you even bring up the word relationship.
You do. And you've got to do the courting phase.
Yeah.
This is your foundational phase.
Yeah.
If you do not court that foundational phase, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay? If you skip the steps in the foundational phases, you're in trouble because relationships are like houses. If you do not have a solid foundation, when problems crack up, you've got issues.
That's how I always explain it. Would you build a house from the bottom up with the front door on the top?
Yeah.
Because you need that front door at the bottom for you to still carry on having your own lives. Because you can't be in each other's pockets 24/7. That's not healthy.
Right.
And that door is still your door to you having some of your freedom with your friends.
Right.
So why would you want that door on top of the house you're building? Because by the time you get to that top of the house, you've lost all your friends anyway.
Well, you get different friends. But see, if you don't do that communication and finding who's leading the relationship, and this is where I see a lot of females today mecking up. If they're texting, the first one texting, like, I'm always reaching out to him. He never reaches out to me. You're not waiting long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you get the same. I get a lot of people now that say, I'm talking to someone on a dating app. Is he the one? You don't even know his date of birth. You don't know his date of birth. So how can he be the one?
Well, you don't even know what he likes to eat yet.
Oh.
Okay? If you can't tell the perfect meal for your man, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you don't know how he
Yeah.
takes his coffee, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Does he have an allergy that you can quote off the top of your head? You don't know? You ain't ready for stage 2.
Me and my very close friend is so
Mm-hmm.
funny. She knows my allergies. She knows everything about me, and I do about her.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because if her mum can't get hold of her for some reason, she phones me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think is a bloody good friendship, but that is what people need to see for the basis for a relationship.
Exactly.
I could never be in a relationship with her because I'd end up killing her because she's a pain in the arse.
Right.
But that's the friendship we have.
Right. But at the same time, that is one of those things that's like, these are basic things of the X generation before that.
Yeah,
This is the way it's been for thousands of years.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Granted, for 1,000 years, there's been a gender role assigned to that.
yeah,
Okay. But if women go in there, and I'm sorry, ladies, you go in there and you start texting him good morning, he replies good morning, you're sitting there fully communicating with him, and then you get it up across here. Well, he never reaches out to me. My friend said I should do such and such, so I did such and such. I didn't text him for a week, and he never contacted me. Yeah, because you were doing it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I always say, if you text him good morning and he don't get back to you, you leave it because
Mhm.
he's probably busy. He's working. He's dealing with doing his own breakfast. But
Or he's sleeping.
but people don't understand that.
No. People don't understand that, like, oh, I don't know. You text me at 10 in the morning, I might not see your text message till 4. And if it doesn't
Yeah,
look important, like it's good morning,
yeah,
what am I going to say back to that? That's a
yeah.
statement, not a question.
Me and my friend, because she's got health issues,
Mm-hmm.
so we've got this big thing. Whoever's up first texts.
Mm-hmm.
If she haven't texted me back by 9:30, I phone her. If
Uh-huh.
she don't answer, then her mother goes round.
Right.
But I wake up to texts like "Good morning, gobshite,"
Uh-huh.
or things like that, which are banter texts. They're not full on "Good morning," explanation.
Right.
That would come across as so blunt.
Right.
And that's like, I'm not going to bother with you. As you said, why would you answer that?
Right. There's no answer to it. You know,
No.
if it's a statement, you've made a statement.
Yes,
Okay. And whether you had a
definitely.
hundred different emojis or not, it's still a statement.
Yeah. Do you know what? Those emojis really wind me up.
Oh, they drive me insane.
Brenda, what do you think about emojis? Because Brenda's the level headed one out of us all.
Okay. Or if you forget to put them in there one day.
It drives me crackers. The only person I send emojis to is my auntie,
Mm-hmm.
and that's only the heart emojis.
Right.
But they are the only ones I send to her.
Well, I've started using the thumbs up because I got tired of
Oh,
typing the word acknowledged.
oh. Do you know what? That thumbs up
Uh-huh.
really annoys me because it's just lazy. If you sent me a text with thumbs up on, I would tell you to shove it up your arse. I really
Right.
would.
But if you got acknowledged, 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 acknowledged.
Well, yeah. I'd probably just put them on silent.
Yeah. You know, you're messaging me, this is what we're covering next quarter, acknowledged. This is a thought I had for an article for next month, acknowledged.
Yeah.
There, you need to know I saw it.
Na, 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 na.
You know. But no, I've started using a few others, but at the same time, it's like if they're there, they're great. If they're not, okay. Like they're not a conversation with me.
No, no.
Neither are photos.
I can't understand how people can have a conversation with them. I'm like, what? Huh? Sean, what does this mean?
Well, I don't. I keep. They stopped in America teaching cursive
Right.
because they didn't say it was useful. Now when they've returned to pictograph writing, hieroglyphics.
But do you think this is one to put the cat amongst the pigeons? This is my way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the way that the kids use emojis, the way they use slang,
Mm-hmm.
the way they use shorthand, they are losing out on so much education?
No.
See, I do.
Well, here's why. Now, we talk and we go back and forth and we have lovely conversations on and off the shows. But comparative to like how I talk with my old drag queens, some of the things that we say, if you were listening to me, you'd think we hate each other.
No, I mean, like in schools, it shouldn't be taught in schools.
Shorthand needs to be taught in schools.
See, I disagree. Because how are they supposed to write out a CV and apply for a job if they can't do it properly?
No, I'm talking about technical shorthand.
Right. Like typists.
Huh?
Like typist shorthand.
Typist shorthand, business shorthand.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it needs to be taught like 5th, 6th grade. So that when they get to university, they can actually take notes in class.
See, what age is your 5th to 6th grade?
12 to 14.
See, over here, that would be 8 to 9.
Yeah. Because you guys only go to 16. We go to 18.
No, they've changed that by law recently now.
Oh, really?
You can leave. If I explain it, we got nursery, infant, then they go to junior school, then they go to high school. By law, they can either leave high school at 16 and go on to college and then university.
Right.
Or they have to stay in school until they're 18.
Okay.
But up here, I think I've said it before, they don't start full-time education until they're 5.
Right.
Whereas in Wales, they start full-time education at 3 and they still leave school at 16.
Right.
16, I don't think they're ready to leave school because I still think they've got to learn a lot of life skills ahead of them.
Right. And see, for me, I think they start here at pre-K at 3 or 4.
Right.
Then they have kindergarten. Then they have elementary. Then they have middle/junior school or high school. And then they have high school.
Yeah.
And at 18, then they go to college for 4 years.
Yeah.
If they want to make anything of themselves, they then have to take another 2-year school and then a 6-year master program.
One thing that confuses me, and you might be able to help me with this, like a lot of our clients range between 24 and say 44. The amount of older clients from the USA that say they're in school. So is that the same as university?
Yes.
Right.
Right. Yeah. It would be university or what's the advanced degrees at Cambridge? Like if you wanted to get a doctorate, a master's,
bachelors.
No, that would be still in their 30s, they would be getting a bachelor.
Right. Because
Right.
over here, if you go to uni,
Mm-hmm.
you normally, if you go to uni, I'm trying to think now, Raquel. If you go to uni at 18, you finish at 21 with your degree.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do well, you get letters behind your name.
Okay.
Then you stay on to do your bachelor's and your doctorate.
Right.
There is another one after that, but that's very rare that anybody does that.
That's the PhD and the master's.
Yeah, that's like a scientist grade, isn't it?
It is, or like I have a
Yeah,
doctor of divinity, so that's where that went into.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you have to pay for
Yes.
like that education over with you?
Yeah. All of it.
Yeah, you do here.
Yeah. You have to pay for everything after high school.
Yeah,
And in
that's
some
the
places,
same.
you have to pay for high school.
Yeah. I always think they've always said from when we were growing up that education was free. But when you think about it now, it's not, because you've got to provide books, you've got to provide all the things that they're going to need throughout the terms.
Education is not free in the US.
No.
People need to get a clue with it. It isn't free. It's a social shared expense for 1 through 12.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, then we enslave our youth.
Yeah.
Because I think me and Joe got into a debate on who had the most paid into education. Because he has a bachelor's in computer
Right.
science. I
Yeah.
have a doctorate. He is $49,000 in debt. When I added up mine, because I had to pay mine out of pocket,
Yeah.
I paid like $56,000 for a doctorate degree.
But isn't it wrong that your parents have worked all their lives to pay money into the system, but then to better yourself, you were
Mm-hmm.
still expected to pay on top of that?
Exactly. Well,
It
and
really
then,
annoys me.
we don't have children that go to school. Vlad would probably enjoy going to school. He would be the class clown, but he would enjoy going to school.
Yeah.
But half of our property taxes, all of our taxes on our cigarettes, most of our grocery taxes, all go to schools.
Yeah. Because you pay a hell of a lot grocery taxes over there, don't you?
6% or 7%.
We pay, now this is where it gets confusing. We pay VAT on our
Mm-hmm.
food, but it's
Right.
only certain things. I think it's things with a high amount of sugar in.
Right.
So we pay 17% on that. But like I said, it's only some of the food, it's not all of the food.
Right.
So it's just weird.
It is.
But then when you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
that's all part of a relationship as well.
It is.
Learning to balance the books.
Well, not only balance the books, but balance it all.
Yeah.
Not in those first stages, someone's leading the way. Someone should be paying and showing affection, that type of thing. And it should be equal co-return. But when you get into like the later stages of balance, when you're living together and balancing the household, it's not only the hours or the income one person makes or another.
It's
Because there's so many other pieces of work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what people fail to realize these days with a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You
Very
know,
much.
people, it's not always going to be all lovey-dovey. There's going to be times where you're going to want to murder each other. But that,
Exactly.
again, is part and parcel of a relationship.
Well, that and people think that, somewhere along the way you kiss them and fireworks just explode and, they get the Cinderella happily ever after. Like our generation after us, Generation Z, Generation Alpha, They all get read that and watch that stupid movie that Walt Disney put out. You find the prince and you marry him, and it's happily ever after. Bull crap.
Yeah.
Okay, the next day you got to wake up. You may be like, yeah, he's kind of cute today. And people go, well, how do you know if you're in a happy relationship? If you wake up in the morning, you're already pissed off with him
Yeah.
before the day starts.
Yeah.
And you think of how many ways you can get out of that relationship, what you need to, where you need to escape. And by the end of the night, you can look at him and say, I love you, and mean it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
healthiest relationships. If we look at the relationships of the longest married people, I promise you, they probably bicker and
Yeah.
snack at each other and drag each other. And you think, dear God, they're awful. They're going to divorce anytime now. No.
Because
They're
they
real.
understand each other. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I had my son this week phone and said, Mum, we're not coping. Baby's not sleeping. So I said, right, okay, I'll come. So I went up there, had the baby for a few hours. They both slept. They got up. They were right as rain then.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but this is part and parcel of becoming parents.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to learn that if one is awake, the other one needs to sleep.
Right.
I said, it's strange for you because you haven't come with a manual and he's a shit sleeper. He's terrible.
Uh-huh.
I said, but that is where you both learn. Where you both learnt about yourselves, you now both got to learn about this new little human that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be with you for the rest of your lives.
Exactly. And he's still adjusting to this field. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of, like, people don't see everything that goes on,
No.
all the
No.
energy
No.
that, that child is seeing. And it's like, he may be a shit sleeper because there's a garbage truck that you don't hear anymore that goes through the neighborhood at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It's going to wake him up and he's going to scream bloody murder because he doesn't know what the hell that sound is, but it can't be good. Like, I hear nothing.
As soon as I went in, I said, give him you. I said, come on, Nanny's boy, come and have a sleep. Sleep like that. And they went, I went, he's picking up on your tension.
Yeah.
I said, you can't be tense or anxious around him because that's not going to work.
Right.
And he slept for 3 hours with me.
Yay. And that's a stressor in a relationship. The other part that people do not talk about is falling out of love.
Yeah.
You fall out of love all the time in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
But if you have that structured foundation, you can bounce back.
Yeah. It's about reigniting something that you lost a while ago.
Yeah. And getting back to each other.
Yeah. It's the same as a coal fire. If you don't keep putting coal on it, it's going to go out.
Well, not only that, but sometimes baking those, but all you can do is bank the embers. All right, let's take on this tough one. The one. There's only one destined one for you.
Oh, don't.
All right. All right, let's start with this. First of all, if you've noticed within the human existence, universe, your soul contracts, whatever you want to dogmatically title it, makes it very lovelily clear. You don't get just one.
No. I hate the saying, is he my soulmate?
One of them.
You can have a 20 soulmates in your life.
You can have 50.
Mean, yeah. Soulmates don't mean it's the person you're sleeping with. And they're like, oh, but I thought, no, it's not.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing with this. We came on this camping trip with a lot of redundancy plans.
Yeah.
Now let's go along this. There's only one. So you and this soul plan a life, and of course, there's always the game of fate/chance. So you found the one. You're in a lovely relationship. He gets off the train, slips and falls and cracks his head and dies. Does that mean
He's not your only one
off
then.
the convict?
Yeah. Yeah, and how I always say to people, especially like the youngsters, when they say, where will I be in 10 years' time? I can't
Wherever you
decide
want
that
to
for
go.
you. You've got to make those life choices yourself.
Right.
But the universe needs to tell me, no, that's not the universe's job to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, give me strength.
More like, can we cut the dogma? Can we cut down to real universal ideals? If you're packing to go on a trip, you don't take just one pair of shoes.
No.
You don't just plan one little thing. So you've been sent down to this experimental field, and you've already had 20 lives. And out of those 20 lives, you have at least 4 partners. You may meet one and date them for 2 years and go, I am not going to be putting up with that Neanderthal the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because he's not advanced past the Neanderthaling stage.
And how many of us... I'm a great believer in you've got to kiss many frogs to find your prince. It's very, very rare it's love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
It do exist, but you're extremely lucky if you come across that.
Right. And you've got to be very focused with it.
Yeah. Cinderella got a lot to answer for.
Well, see, I really wish they would produce the real fairy tales, not the Disney fairy tales. I'm talking about the ones where it talks about the, stepsister, one of them cut off her big toe so she could possibly fit into the glass slipper, yada, yada, yada. But it goes on to talk about the troubles that the prince and princess had.
Yeah. It's ridiculous how... This is going to sound horrible. It's ridiculous how these fairy tales make these young people live, I'm going to say, an untrue life.
Well,
because it's not reality.
It puts a lot of stress on them. It puts a lot of stress on you. It puts a lot of stress on the idea that, and then the speed they're trying to build stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they have shows like 90 Day Fiance.
Do you have Married at First Sight over there?
We do.
What a load of codswallop.
But that takes you back to the definition of marriage.
Yeah. But then, that's not something that can last either.
Depending on your definition of marriage. If your definition of marriage is a contractual agreement to run a business, and these are the role I will feel, and this is the role you will feel, then it could last for centuries.
Do you know what? I couldn't cope with looking at somebody and thinking I'm spending the rest of my life with you.
Depending on the person. Now, I've been in that position. I've had those relationships when it's like, I just, feel like we're going to be together forever. And it's like, forever is an awful long damn time.
Yeah.
And again, he didn't pick up his shoes. Can I put up with it? Oh, it's so cute. And watch yourselves. You'll be in relationships.
If you think about it, generations ago, people would stay married for 70 years. Because they didn't have none of these. They didn't have no computer. They didn't have no internet, so they had no interference.
Well, not only that, but they had no other choice.
No. No.
Okay, let's be blunt about it. Your best hope, one, divorce wasn't allowed. You had to kill them.
No. No.
Like, they had to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you got to deal with them.
Yeah.
But marriage was seen differently.
Marriage then was, if you argued, you talked through it. You wouldn't go running back to your parents because they'd give you a slap and tell you, go back home to your partner. They're waiting for you.
Well, not only that, but they were seen differently because it was a different arrangement. It wasn't this, oh, I love him so much. Like, that didn't enter the scope of the field until Queen Victoria and King Albert.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Victorian times. Up until then, it was a contractual agreement. Like, it was even debatable if you had enough money if your husband slept in your bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the strange thing now. There's so much pressure put on this perfect marriage outlook.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is perfect.
No.
Nothing is perfect at all.
Well, not only that, but no definitions are the same. Here's an easy one for you. What's cheating for you?
Cheating for me, now a lot of people don't agree with it. Cheating for me would be meeting up with someone behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind, I've been through this. My ex-partner had an affair with my childhood friend.
Mm-hmm.
And myself and my partner had been together 14 years then.
Right.
Texting, I got no problems with my partner having friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have got issues with my partner speaking filthy in the way of prerogative
Mm-hmm.
texts and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. I see that as a form of cheating because it's showing disloyalty to myself.
Mm-hmm. See, mine is investing in something that we are not joint partners in.
Yeah.
I don't care what he does elsewhere, but by golly, he opens a bank account and his ass will be on the street.
Do you think, though, that's because I've also got to think about the boys?
No, I think that's because of your nature.
Go on, tell me I'm too soft. I know.
No, I don't think you're too soft. I think it has to do with your nature. It's how you were brought up in the
Yeah.
scope of view of what a relationship is.
Yeah.
But nowadays, everyone doesn't have the same definitions for the words.
No, that's true.
You know,
That's true.
jealousy is a normal, natural part of a relationship.
Do you know what we should do?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get Techie Joe to write us out the questions. What do people see as relationships?
Uh-huh.
What do people think needs to happen for a relationship to work?
Mm-hmm.
You could put it on your Facebook. I'll put it on my Facebook. It'll be interesting to see what comes back, what answers.
It would be. It would be. We can look at that and then talk about it because we've got some more to talk about relationships and relationship matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then the other one there that gets me all the time is, oh, I'm so jealous, or he's so jealous. That's not a good thing. That tells me that you're feeling some sort of lack in the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody is insecure,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot have a stable relationship
Right.
because that insecurity is going to rub off on
Right.
their partner.
Exactly.
I'm not insecure by any means because I learned when she cheated on me, if somebody's going to cheat, they'll do it anyway.
Exactly. And part of that's human nature. Part of that, however, is looking at what is lacking in the relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
laying blame on any side of that relationship because at the end of the day, it's up to you to ask for what you need in the relationship and making sure that it's reasonable. Here's
She
an
was just
example.
she was just a greedy cow because she told me She
Uh-huh.
just wanted to sleep about and feel other people. Off you pop then. Don't
Okay.
bring me into that equation.
Well, that's a negotiable point. Okay, but it tells me what she felt she was lacking there.
Yeah. But she was only 17 when we got together and I was 30.
Right.
So I think she hadn't lived her life, whereas I had gone night clubbing.
Uh-huh.
I had done everything I wanted to do when I was a mother.
Exactly. So, and that's where you have to go, maybe that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Because she's lacking experience.
Yeah.
She's lacking experiences. She's lacking adventure. And you have to have adventure with your partner. You
Yeah.
have to have shared experiences. It's like Tucky. He has to eat 3 times a day or I will kill him. Not because
Don't you
I'm a
talk don't you
huh?
talk about him like that.
I will. I will murder him because he gets hangry. And it's like I ain't putting up with that. Here, eat a sandwich. Now I'll talk to you.
So next time I see him I can call him Hungry Joe.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, he gets to a point because he will go in there and he will sit down at that desk and he will start working and he'll get lost.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we all do that to a certain extent. We forget about our needs.
Exactly. Now me, I don't get hungry. I get miserable, and it's like
Yeah.
I need to get the fuck out of here. If I
Yeah.
listen to one more client tell me that their boyfriend didn't text them good morning, so they're going to break up with them, I'm going to go, are you an idiot?
Yeah.
Are you that insecure? And that's something I don't think people ask anymore. And this is one of those things when I'm getting ready to go on to raise the roof. Will this matter in 5 years? Nope. Okay. We ain't raising the roof today. We'll wait for him to do
Yeah.
something else.
And I think a relationship needs to go back to basis.
Often.
Yeah. Because,
And I think it's good to make him sleep on the couch once in a while.
yeah, you've probably had this as much as I have. They've gone out, they've had a one night stand. This
Mm-hmm.
is now a happily ever after. She's already planned in her head the wedding, the 6 kids, and the big house they're going to buy. In his mind, it was a bit of fun, and off he goes in the other direction.
Well, I've had that, but I've also had quite the opposite. And then what I mean by that is it's a one night stand that just doesn't end.
Yeah.
But they never do the foundational work.
Yeah.
They're sitting there fussing because of blah 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 moved in and da 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 da. And I'm like, hold up. So how do they take their coffee? Well, I don't know. Why are you
Yeah.
asking me that question for? Because you do not have a right to be mad because you stepped steps 1 through 5 and jumped to step 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I find more people are friends with benefits now than in a relationship.
See, I'm not even going to give them that quality. Friends with benefits, yes, the benefits are nice, but the friend part comes also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and if you can't, like my friends, I know where we go to eat at. I know what their food preferences are. If you cannot even do the basics,
Yeah.
then you're not a friends with benefits. You're just a
No.
benefit.
But this is going to sound really strange. I struggle with that
Okay.
because Brenda might understand where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the respect in yourself to do that?
I think it's a different view.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here's an example. We work 70 hours a week. When do we
Yeah.
have time to form new relationships?
Yeah.
The 3 to 5 hours we have a week, we need a specific type of partner that needs to be independent and can go do their own thing.
Yeah.
That's hard to find. But a friends with benefits is kind of like renting a car. See if you like that model.
I feel myself
Mm-hmm.
friends with benefits. Perhaps it's my age and because I am old-fashioned where love is concerned. But
Mm-hmm.
I see friends as benefit is not respecting your body.
See, I see it the opposite. And it's also knowing what you can take out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'd be afraid of STIs and everything else because you can guarantee if they're having friends with benefits with you, they're also having other friends with benefits.
Right. So that tells you that, oh, you need to be smart.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like you take and you cover up a new car. You don't
Yeah.
take it and button. You park it lower in the parking lot. All right. You take precautions. You know your risks and you do your risk assessment.
Perhaps that's what it is. Perhaps I'm too responsible as an adult now.
No, I don't think. I think that you're from a different viewpoint, which is totally fine. And it may not work for you because some people cannot do friends with benefits. Some people can do friends with benefits very successfully. It's like some people can be a mistress, and that's
Yeah.
what they do. They do not want to have someone in their house 24/7. They love the benefits of a relationship, but they just like returning him back.
I think it comes down to as well, partly the girl code, as we
Partly.
call it.
Right.
Because I could never be disloyal to another female
Right.
in that respect, because I wouldn't see that as the right thing to do.
Understandable. For me, I'm like, okay, you understand what you're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're wanting those Kodiak Christmases and Kodiak Valentine's Day, you ain't getting it.
No.
But
No.
if you're being, and I'm not going to say the first part of that, well, I'm going to say Angel of Mercy, but it's got some more derivatives in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Know what you're expecting out of that.
Yeah.
And, and it's like friends with benefits. If you do not have the time to invest in a relationship, like you don't have the emotional wherewithal for that. Okay.
I think I struggle so much emotionally with the job.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot to do with it as well.
Right.
Because we help people sort out their own relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think on times, like you're lucky because you're in a stable relationship.
Multiple stable relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with myself, because
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got the kids to keep
Right.
my priority, I've
Mm-hmm.
got like the house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've got time. And I'm really strange where I've lived in this house now for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that's come in my kids and their partners, of course. I don't make them stand outside.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend and her mum.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like anybody else coming in my house, as strange as that sounds.
No, it doesn't sound strange at all. And it's where you're comfortable at.
Yeah.
That's where, if it was me playing matchmaker, I go, all right, so you need someone that has their own home,
Yeah.
their own career.
Yeah.
You're looking for someone maybe to be able to date once or twice a week,
Yeah.
preferably having their own outer circle of relationships so that you aren't co-supporting those with the same values of what you're looking for.
It's easier to stay single.
Again, that's a complicated, rare situation.
Yeah.
However, looking at it from my perspective, you're a prime candidate for a friends with benefits situation. If what you're wanting is intimacy,
Yeah.
contact, communication, but none of the emotional baggage heavy lifting. Like
No.
you don't want to be sitting there sorting out what to do with their things when they're done. You don't want to be going and driving their mother-in-law around.
I think I've learned a lot over the years about relationships.
Right. I think we
And it's
both
for
have.
me, it's like I just can't be doing with it.
And that's understandable. Like, you're understanding where your bandwidth limit is. And
Yeah.
that's something you need to be aware of, whether you're monogamous, poly, any spectrum of the rainbow, or, including the white.
Yeah.
Okay, which is, cisgendered, cisgendered, heterosexual. You've got to
Now look,
understand there.
the LGBT is now the LGBT plus the alphabet at the end.
It's the LGBTAIQ plus.
Why?
Because that's where the spectrum is. I was talking with a friend of mine that's an activist, and he says there's 256 identificational titles now.
Isn't that crazy though?
Comparatively, yes.
Yeah, because when I came out, it was just like LGBT.
Right.
And even
But
I get confused with everything behind the rest of it now.
I get questionable, because there's some few there that 20 years ago it's like, huh?
Yeah. 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 And I think with us, perhaps because we are the older generation, we've seen changes, but we've also seen people revert, but also revert back.
Well, it's like a gas tank. There's a
Yeah.
spectrum of everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that we're getting more of the Toyota gas tank now, where there's a
Yeah.
mark for every fourth.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of thoughts and theories behind that, and we'll talk about it sometime.
Yeah.
And where all that fits in there, because I have a really different view on it comparatively. But like a lot of it used to just be gay, straight, bi,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But there's there's now more letters after or before it, and they're significators, but they're important significators. But it's almost like, instead of going, okay, well, let me figure this out, figure yourself out. It's like, well, this fits, this fits, this fits. It's now become multiple choice, which is amazing. And we embrace that. Please don't send us hate mail over it. We've been fighting for these communities longer than most of y'all even been alive, if you know what the plus stands for. Okay.
I agree everybody is equal and an individual, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody should be seen as a box ticked.
Right. But I think that we're in that age where it's important to classify everything.
Because when like the kids went to fill in the baby's birth certificate, because they're now married, they both had to go and sign.
Right.
And like they were asking what gender was he born, so they said male. And then they said, well, later on in years to come, if you want to change. And I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
He can't even speak yet. And they're saying things like that.
They're telling the parents that he will have the right to change those later on.
Over here, they actually teach it in junior school.
Good.
I got different views on it.
Okay. Well, that's fine. We can talk about those another day. But
yeah,
if it were set, in my viewpoint,
yeah,
where we're standing in the U.S., if a 12-year-old can hang themselves in the closet, then they need to have the education.
I think that's where we differ, because I feel in that respect, the US are in front of us.
Uh-huh.
If that makes sense.
See, I think you guys are so much in front of us.
See, I don't see that.
I'll explain it off there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because And it's not that we're hiding anything to you guys. We have to hold to certain standards, or Spotify gets really mad at us.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also good for us to discuss it, to see where we can bring it into our shows as well.
Right. Very much so. All right. So, what's your
Because
week looking like, honey?
it's looking really good. Same as usual,
Okay.
9 till about midnight. I was working this morning at 6:30. What's going on?
The winter vibe.
I don't know what it was. I was up and showered and working by 6:30.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to be on midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on all the user networks. Of course, the links are down in the description where you can reach us for on demand or appointments. Don't forget our classes. And with that, guys, bye.